Welcome, I'm Sheri DeMaris, and I'm with Endre Witthoeft for our episode of Macro Magic today. Endre is a very impressive person. We met actually at a Willows Park project. We had the Willows on our TV show several weeks ago, talking about the restorative efforts they're making at the park. And Endre and I started talking, and he shared with me how he goes into people's homes with his Jeep, gym in a Jeep, and teaches them personal training. So I have my sneakers on today. Andre's going to show us some really easy, fun activities that he does one-to-one with people, and how he starts to build their endurance with any age client. So this is really exciting news, because oftentimes people who may be older, not physically as fit, can go into a gym and actually hurt themselves, right? By trying all the equipment and not being able to understand where their beginning point is and where they need to go. So I'm really excited to have you on the show. I'm excited to learn about the training that you do and how you start the people off.
Yeah. So thank you, Sheri. It's a pleasure to be here. And what I like to do is meet people where they're at in their fitness journey, and I like to get them to where they need to go. Everyone is different. We have all different fitness levels. My job is not to train a client like someone at a high intensity fitness level, or like myself. It's to meet people where they're at. And they may be at that high fitness level, but my job is to meet people whatever level they're at and train them at that level and adjust to their fitness goal. One of the biggest fitness goals that I get is to lose some weight and to maximize time, especially after holidays. People want to burn off those holiday calories.
And they call you right after the holidays.
And the initial inclination is, I gotta run on the treadmill for an hour and I just have to eat lettuce. But at the end of the day, strength training promotes more muscle on the body, and the more muscle you have on your body, the faster your metabolism. And so at rest, we burn free calories. And so when we're seated here, if we have more muscle on our body, we burn more calories. But the type of strength training I'd like to show everyone today is not traditional strength training, split routines where you work back, biceps, and legs one day, then chest, triceps, and shoulders, and you do 5 sets per body part. That's bodybuilding. What I'd like to introduce is, it's called high-intensity circuit strength training, and that will promote a sturdy body. It's total body. You're incorporating the entire body, working it as a functional unit, and you're still breaking down muscle tissue to build muscle tissue in a very efficient way. I recommend 30 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes. After your 5-minute warm-up, and then in between each circuit, a yoga flow, it's only going to take you 30 minutes.
So only 30 minutes each day?
Every other day. That's a good question. So when you strength train, you want to rest 24 hours in between, because you're tearing the muscle fibers, and you want to give those muscle fibers a chance to heal. So we want to make sure that we do our strength training, for example, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And when you do this high intensity circuit strength training, you get some cardiovascular benefits too. So cardiovascular activity is defined as 20 minutes of elevated heart rate. So theoretically, I could stand up and just dance for 20 minutes and I'm getting some cardio in. But what we're going to do when you see me demonstrate is start off with an active warm-up to get the heart rate up, and then go right into the circuit. And then to give our body a little rest, after the first set, we'll do a yoga flow, then come back into the second circuit. So we're working the muscles, we're straining them a bit, but then we're stretching for health reasons, and then we go back into the circuit. Typically, these circuits are alternating lower body with upper body, and that's pretty good. While one set of muscles are working, the other sets aren't working. So you're resting and working. You're not overdoing it. What I like to do is set up the circuits with a leg with a pulling muscle, a leg with a pushing muscle. Then I go into a pushing muscles. Then I go into a pull. An interval cardio for 30 seconds to keep the heart rate up, and then a core. So it's total body. And that's what I'll demonstrate for today. Usually these circuits are 5 to 7 exercises done in a row. So you'll do all 7 exercises and then go into your yoga flow. And typically within a 30-minute time, all you need, right, is 4 sets. And you want to break down the muscle tissue between 12 and 8 repetitions. Sometimes I go a little bit heavier at 6. But we don't want to do too many reps here. I'm sure you've heard the notion, more reps, light weights, that makes you leaner. Well, in actuality, right, it's breaking down the muscle tissue and increasing more muscle that gets you leaner and that speeds the metabolism. So at rest, you can burn more calories.
Sounds good to me.
Would you like me to demonstrate? Or?
Sure,
okay.
sure.
All right. So before we start the total body workout, and today I just brought dumbbells. Now when I train someone, I switch it up always. So TRX one day, the next day dumbbells, kettlebells, elastic tubing. Otherwise the muscle memory, you get used to it and you're not going to promote as much hypertrophy. But today I brought a set of dumbbells. Before we start, always want to do an active warm-up, right? You don't want to work out cold, otherwise you can pull a muscle. So here's a demonstration. We're going to first just start off with a little bit of jogging. We're going to get the heart rate up a little bit, okay? And we want to move the body in all different planes. We're going to do some jump rope here. Right, get the heart rate up. And then we got some jumping jacks, right? There we go. And we have some seal jacks together in a park.
So this is what you're doing with your clients all the time.
That's right. So this is the 5-minute warm-up. And I always do this with them. You got to be a team player. And then get the heart rate up here. We're moving the body in different planes, right? So loosen things up. We want to make sure we don't pull a muscle. And then we go into ice skater, side to side. And then we can pivot and twist. See how I'm working the sides here? I'm mixing it up, okay? What about those hamstrings? Let's actively work the hamstrings. There we go. And for those boxers out there, Ollie shuffle. There we go. Oh, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. I think we're ready. You mind if I just show you the weights here? If I'm going to be in a gym, I got to work out a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to start off with a leg and a push. Okay, 2 movements. Feet are shoulder width apart, keeping your upper body upright. Pull your core muscles in. Go down into a squat, keep the upper body upright, press straight up, together at the top.
Now, are you having like 60-year-old women doing this too?
With really light weights,
Okay.
and I'll modify everything. I love compound movements because you're working upper and lower body. You're working the body as a functional unit. If I was doing landscaping, I would have to, pick boulders up and move. But I do a health and wellness assessment to make sure that they're able to do this functional training. If they're not, then I pull back and adjust. So we can just do a squat like this, and then we can do a shoulder press like this. That's a good question. Or we can do a squat like this in a chair. And then if the client isn't able to do a shoulder press, we have them seated in a chair.
Yeah,
right
they
like
said
this.
that when you get older, it's really hard to squat.
Yeah, but if you can't squat out of a chair, there's a problem. Like if you're seated and you can't squat out of a chair, it's important to keep your functional strength. So from there, we did a squat shoulder press. Then we'll do a Roman deadlift into a bicep curl. So here's my Roman deadlift with a flat back, and then I come up into a bicep curl. I'm also working my core because I'm drawing my belly button to the back of the spine. So if a client is unable to do this, I can modify everything. We can do a one-legged deadlift, having them hold something and come up. And then we split it up into biceps. So that was my leg and my pull. Now I'm going to go into my push. Push-ups are the best exercise known to man, right? You work chest, triceps, shoulders, and core. Feet are shoulder width apart, drawing the belly button into the spine. Core is tight, pressing straight up. Breathe out on the positive, on the way up. If I want to work my core, I add a flutter kick.
I think that comes with like level 6.
Right. And from there, we're going to pop up, and we're going to add a cardio, high-intensity circuit strength training. The high intensity is the 30-second interval. In that interval, take a little weight and kick it out. If we're not ready for that level, we don't use a weight. But you burn more calories with a little bit of weight. We go 15, 14, getting the heart rate up. That's it. 15 on both sides. We got our heart rate up. Now we go back to our pull. And this will be the last exercise for the circuit. Big step forward. Your body's your bench. I could do this exercise on a regular bench, but then I take my core muscles out of it. So it's healthier if I draw my belly button to the back of the spine. First I'm working my core right here. Then I pull straight back. Now I'm working my back and my biceps. Because my legs are my bench, my legs are working. This is functional strength training. How many muscles can you use during one exercise? If I'm in a machine, let's say I'm doing a lat pull down, right like this. I love pull-ups, which work the same thing, but my core isn't engaged. If I'm doing a pull like this, I can engage my core by pulling up and lifting my legs up. So that was a demonstration of a total body circuit without, we forgot, planks. One more. So planks, pelvis is parallel to the mat. And then we got a reach out saw would be the next progression. The next progression would be a high-low. So now I'm working my triceps while I'm working my core. And then from there, I can work my sides right here, under
We do
and
that
up,
in yoga, yeah.
and then under and up. And then after the circuit, we go into the yoga, into child pose, keeping a steady breath. That circuit will take you about 4 minutes. And then the yoga flow takes you a minute. 15 seconds on each stretch. Into a set of downward dog. Opening up the hip. Opening up the other hip. Coming up into forward fold. Keeping a steady
Nice.
breath. Breathing in through the nose, intentional diaphragmatic breathing. Exhaling tension out.
Good. While you relax, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to see your commercial.
Okay,
And
thank
when
you.
we come back, we're going to see more of what you do with the gym in the Jeep.
Awesome, thank you.
Are you part of the Great Resignation? Are you a business owner that would like to diversify your business holdings? Have you always had an entrepreneurial itch but did not have a concept to get you started? Milestone Franchising represents over 500 franchise concepts across 30 industries. Concepts range from $20,000 to $6 million, and they can be home-based, office-based, mobile, or brick and mortar. We guide you through the process to select which concept is best for you based upon your core competencies, your interests, and your financials. Milestone Franchising is part of the International Franchise Professionals Group, IFPG, and will bring a host of resources to assist you in your quest for business ownership. When you work with a certified franchise consultant, you gain access to a professional process that helps you succeed in your search for the right placement. Finding the best placement for you within the franchising world of 4,000 concepts is the objective. Matching your skills and goals with a culture that fits you best is the priority. For a free consultation, visit our website at milestonefranchising.com. Milestone Franchising is here to lead you in a new direction.
We love our new home. Lots of windows, great light.
But the birds. They're back.
Yes, I hear them.
Uh-oh. Why are these birds so angry?
At least GEICO makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
I'm going. Ah!
Hurry!
I know.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Welcome. I'm Barry Lefkowitz. I'm your host on New Perspectives on RVN TV. I come to you each week with issues and topics that you will generally find in the news. And if you're looking to be able to get caught up and know what's going on, then New Perspectives is the show for you on RVN TV. Look forward to having you.
Your mom's gotta go.
Oh, she's family.
Like daughter, like mother.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
She's using my Old Spice moisturizer with shea butter for impossibly smooth skin, and she's wearing my robe. It's bad enough you use up all my body wash, and now her.
We're out. Nice robe.
Thanks, Mom. Thank you. You got good taste.
True Grit Fitness, I'm a Jim in a Jeep. I meet you where you're at and help you to get to where you need to go on your fitness journey. What do we need more of in this day and age? Time. Time to be with our family, our friends. Time is of the essence. So I provide, after an active warm-up, I provide a 30-minute circuit strength training workout, total body, that works not only strength, but also on cardio. And I bring everything to you, from elastic tubing to TRX to sport block kettlebells to Vipers to dumbbells and also a hero rope. So I have all the equipment that you need. I meet you where you are and help you to get to where you need to go on your fitness goals so you have more time for the important things. Thank you.
Welcome back to Macro Magic. I'm Sheri DeMaris with Endre Witthoeft, and we're talking about True Grit Fitness. And Andre has already showed us some really fun, interesting workouts that he does using the equipment from his Jeep, where he comes and gives you a personal training session, all for different amounts of time. And we were talking about how important it is to modify that in terms of what your client can and cannot do. So the older client, you would see, if they can't do a push-up, you would modify the push-up. But how important it is to always be building your muscles, simply because it's burning calories when you're eating and sitting. Now they say sitting is the new smoking. Not really that healthy to do, and we all do it with the new computers and technology that we have. So you wanted to show us a little bit more working with the bands.
Yes, that's right. So everyone's fitness level is different. So with bands, we bring it down a notch, less strain on the joints. We can still do the compound movements. And so, for example, with a band, a leg and a pulling muscle. This is a cable row, feet are shoulder width apart, pulling the core muscles in, breathing out as you go down, inhale as you come up. If you have trouble squatting, we can modify there. And just some of my clients, if they have a knee issue, I'll start them off with a wall squat and have them hold for 30 seconds. And then we'll come over here and we'll do the cable row. But they're still getting a balanced workout. This is their pulling movement. Their leg movement at the lowest level would be a seated squat, which is fine for like 30 seconds. This is their push, a chest press. Let's say they can't do a push-up. Then we just push out here, feet are shoulder width apart, and we push straight out and together, working the chest and the triceps. If we add a leg for a little bit more cardio, we can add a lunge. This would be the next progression. let's say someone can't move the bands, and I have bands that are yellow, that are even lighter than this. Let's do a wall push-up. So you're still within the circuit, you're getting your leg, pull, push, core, and cardio. And to further use the bands to work other muscles, you can still work the legs with an outer thigh while you work a pulling muscle. So the way I'm creatively putting these circuits together is meeting people where they're at, and I'm alternating leg pulling with leg pushing or pull push. So while one series of muscles are working, the others aren't working. So that was a leg and a pull. We can do triceps too, putting this back here. And last time we did a chest press, this is a tricep press. Alternating here, the difference is we're keeping the elbows in as we go forward. I'm being mindful of my core. I'm working my core because I'm drawing belly button to the spine. That's a yoga technique. So I can work multiple muscles while I work the primary mover. That's what's great about circuit strength training. A little bit different than traditional bodybuilding type training. So, and we can also use the bands to do shoulder presses as well. But when I train, I like to work the entire body for the client, unless their fitness goal is, I want to be the next Corey Everson or the next Arnold, then we got to switch it up and, hit the heavy weights. But the important thing is to meet people where they are with their fitness goal and to get them to where they need to go.
So do you work with people who have injuries and
I do.
help them through their physical therapy as well?
Yeah, so for example, and the bands are great for that. A torn rotator cuff. I have a client, he's a big tennis player. And so we worked with the bands to rehabilitate the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff stabilizes the shoulder. So we can do some external rotation, and then we can do some internal rotation. And then we can start off down below, work our way up, position the band up top, and work our way down. I've been certified by the American Council on Exercise for 30 years, post-college. So I do rehabilitation with clients. For knees, the water is the best thing. And then leg extensions for strengthening the knee without very light weights. The worst type of equipment for the knee is in the gym where you're seated doing an extended knee extension. So to strengthen around the knee, we do leg extensions, not on a machine, but with a light ankle weight tightening as we do a leg lift, or even isometrically without any weight. And then with the bands, some outer thighs where you kick the heel out, strengthening the ACL in the side here, hip abduction is helpful as well. So I've worked with clients who have come off an injury and have helped them to rehab their injuries. I'm an athlete all my life, and I love fitness on all levels. So love to work with a diverse core group of clients because I think sports, health and wellness and fitness, it's just, it's a way of not only being stronger, but also just healing on many levels.
Yeah, and it's so nice that you come to their house, and I can vision you working a lot with housewives and people that have very busy lives and they just want to keep fit.
Yeah, that's
and you
true.
said 30 minutes is all it takes?
Yeah, so if someone comes to me and says, I want a sturdy, fit body, 30 minutes, 3 times a week of this type of circuit strength training, and then eating healthy and well, the Mediterranean diet I love, and getting adequate amounts of sleep, and getting your movement in, your steps, 10,000 steps, we've all heard that, but that doesn't mean 10,000 steps at night after you've been seated all day. The takeaway of that is just movement throughout the day. But you'll be amazed at how good a shape you'll be in if you start off with circuit strength training with that active warm-up, you get movement throughout the day, and you eat the Mediterranean diet. And the operative word here is limit sugar and alcohol. Let's face it, when the marching band's playing, we all like a drink, a glass of wine, and we all like a little bit of sweets, right? But those takeaways will help the person to be healthy and well and have a sturdy body. Now, if they want to take it to the next level, we have to implement some cardio at a higher level. But ironically enough, the most fit people, particularly middle age, are not always the most healthy people because of years and years of just grinding it out. So what I'm finding in middle age, I'm 50, is that I'm now dovetailing into total health and wellness. What does that mean, Andre? You don't have to play 3 sets of tennis and take it to the next level. Play some strategic doubles and have just as much fun and not, have the back aching for a couple of days.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
so the important thing
Not be so extreme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you learn the hard way,
That's true.
oftentimes with injuries
Right.
that you can't push yourself. But with the, I think yoga is become so popular and so,
So-
helpful. But I
Absolutely.
think you do need the other strength
Yoga,
training.
in my practice, personal training practice for myself, I do yoga once a week with my wife. She's becoming a yoga instructor, and then Tai Chi. So these lower intensity forms of exercise need to be incorporated into the middle-aged client because our bodies have been around for a while and we're taking a lot of poundage on the joints, and we need to learn that the lower intensity is restorative, which is needed so you can go out and go skiing or play tennis and do some of those more high intensity sports or just workouts.
Yeah, and I'm always amazed when people are older, like one of my yoga instructors is 80 years old, how she's injury free and she is so mobile and she eats a pretty good diet, but to do that, constantly and practice that throughout your life, it really makes a difference.
Yes,
We have to
yeah.
wrap things up. Andre, how can people reach you if they want an in-home training? I know you're in the Philadelphia area. Do you travel to New Jersey, Delaware?
So typically I stay along the main line and out of the outskirts just because I need travel time. I give myself maximum 30 minutes. So I'm in Bryn Mawr. If you're in a 30-minute radius of where I live, please, for a complimentary session, give me a call. And I do pick up my phone, actually, and it's 610-324-4555. Or you can email me at andre@truegritfitness.com or text.
And we wanted to share some exciting news on April 24th,
Yes.
2022 at the Willows Park Reserve. Andre and I will be there for a wellness day that we're hosting to help raise money for the restoration of the mansion. And we're hoping to educate people in the community about health and wellness, as well as have them learn about all the exciting new services there are in the area. So.
And it's a beautiful property too. Hopefully we'll have a great spring day because green fitness, being outside with nature, that's always nice too.
Yes.
So
Being out
Yeah.
walking. Well, thank you so much for
Thank-
coming. We hope to have
thank
you
you.
back
Oh, would love to. Thank you.
showing some more of what you do with your Jeep.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
And thank you all for joining me. Hope to see you next time on another episode of Macro Magic.